welcome to Found in AI. I am Cassie Clark, an AI search visibility consultant and the host of the show where we talk about AEO, GEO, AI search optimization, and everything in between. If you are watching from YouTube, which you are, these are now YouTube videos I'm slowly working through, editing and putting them all up. You've landed on the back catalog. The full episode with the intro and the outro lives on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and it'll be linked in the description below. But the conversation, like the real meat of what we were talking about, that's all right here. Let's get into it.
Right. So I've been in SEO field for a good 10 years at the moment. I come from a content background. That's why I felt like it was the right direction to go into. And I mainly work with SaaS clients, like everybody in the SaaS space or tech space. And I had some experience working also with home services clients, people that are working in HVAC or plumbing, roofing, things like that. So I've had a bit of experience also in local SEO, which was a little bit different from the SaaS one. And I feel like I'm a little bit biased towards the SaaS just because this felt a bit more interesting to me, a bit more natural, and I like the uniqueness of each company that I've worked with. I worked with a lot of construction technology companies that are serving construction companies as well. And yeah, this been my journey. I've recently quit the agency at the very beginning of the summer, and I've started my own project. And I felt like it was also an interesting timing because of the whole AI search just booming. So I've positioned, because I've seen a lot of demand, and a lot of the clients that I've worked with, they've expressed, a lot of uncertainty towards what do we do now? Do we just completely stop doing all SEO and we just go towards optimizing for AI? And I've started diving deep into that, and I've positioned the WebView SEO, the project that I lead right now, just kind of educating people about that and also helping the clients that I work with.
Yeah, so starting your own thing is scary and exciting all at once. How did that go for you?
To be honest, I um it was interesting because I thought I'd be a little bit more worried, and maybe I should be. But I felt like it was a little bit easier just because I've had a pretty good network in the agency years. I've had quite a bit of good connections and people that I worked with,
Mhm.
both on the client side and also the people that I worked with as my team. So now when I, progress towards that kind of an individual agency project, I have a lot of support. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people on the content side. Some people help me with link building. There are some virtual assistants. So I feel like I'm not alone. And I think that's kind of, it's the best feeling.
Yeah, that was probably a lot smarter because I was in education before I officially went full time into like content. So I didn't have that foundation there. So it's not been tough, it's been challenging. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, but so I'm probably gonna like clip it here for like the
Hmm.
podcast part. I've got four like solid questions that I'd really like your take on because my plan today was to record the episode, Is SEO Dead? Because that was one of the big things everybody was talking about in Reddit when I was doing some research. And then you see it every other day on LinkedIn.
Right. Hmm.
I'm sure you've seen it too, plus with what your clients are. So my first question officially, um, let me get to my notes. Hold on.
No problem.
I've
Take your
got
time.
a million tabs up today.
I've also read it today in the morning. You had some coffee accident.
Yeah, so I decided that today would be the first day I would like officially go to the gym because usually I just work out here in my office, but I'm home all day. And then by the time my husband gets home, I'm like, we've got to go out and do something. But of course, he's tired. So um, I decided I will just go to the gym. So this morning I went, I was so excited. I came back home. I'll have my coffee now. And I got out of the shower and I thought, why is it so strong? It's because it went all on the floor.
Wow.
It's, it's been a Monday for sure. Okay, so my first question. Um, when people say SEO is dead, what's your first reaction to that?
I think I've seen this comment so many times that at first, I was maybe 5 years ago, I would be kind of giving it some weight, even some thought. At the moment, I just kind of ignore it, and I don't think, um, I mean, ignore it in a way that it does not bother me as it used to, and I feel like it's just also considering where I read a lot of LinkedIn posts, it's a very good hook, to put at the very beginning. But at the moment, I just, even if I see SEO is dead or, AI is replacing SEO, I mostly don't read these posts just because I feel like um, maybe it's a bias, but I feel like it might not hold a lot of value. Because I just don't believe it. I think SEO is still pretty much the foundation of being discovered online.
So you think it's more like a clickbait reaction when people are talking
Exactly.
about LinkedIn? Okay, that's kind of the feeling that I've got too, because it just seems like it is the foundation of everything else. Have you been
Yes.
on LinkedIn and making comments back, or do you just ignore it and go on?
No, I honestly, I just ignore it and, go because there is just so much information right now happening, so many updates that I consume a crazy amount of information online. And I feel like, there's not enough hours in a day to also read these kind of posts.
Yes, I totally understand. I was talking with another content lady this morning, a content lady, content person, and she was made the comment that AI search is kind of like there's so much information that we don't really know where we're headed at the moment. Do you think
Mhm.
that's true?
Absolutely. I feel like this at some point you get very overwhelmed by the amount of information, and it's almost like you have to, take a step back and just breathe a little to understand that yes, it is uncertain, and I don't think anybody knows where it's headed because um with I think this kind of SEO has been going through a lot of updates over the years, but I think this one is the most significant one, to be honest, and is just going to change SEO world forever, for better or worse. I'm not sure yet, but I agree with uncertainty piece. A lot of people feel uncertain, especially those that um, don't really go deep into that just because that's not their profession. Like, for example, I speak to a lot of VPs of marketing or marketing directors, and they want to be able to for their brand to be discovered through AI, but they're just so lost in what to do. So this seems to be the sentiment right now.
Hmm. So with the clients that you work with directly at WebUSEO, what shifts are you actually seeing in their traffic? And like where do their leads come compared to maybe even 2 years ago?
Right. There's definitely a big shift in the quality of traffic. When I see the traffic that comes through AI is definitely much more um, conversion ready because people do a lot of research before actually clicking through. Because already, like AI overviews, ChatGPT, there is not a lot of opportunities to click through to the website. So there's a lot of searches just happening there. And if people really land on your website through any of the AI search engines, that means they're really interested and they kind of already compared you against other solutions. So the traffic has been increasing since, well, it's more and more people are shifting towards searching in LLMs, and me included.
Okay.
But in general, I think um it's a good shift because even if we are seeing less traffic overall, or maybe less traffic from organic traffic, the traffic that comes through AI is much more ready to buy.
So again, more conversion ready. So
Exactly.
are your clients already seeing like that jump in revenue, even if it's small so far?
Yes, yes. Mostly, well, it's interesting because I see that mostly comes from ChatGPT, at least
Really?
for the clients that I work with. Not a lot of there is some traffic from Perplexity and from AI reviews, AI mode and things like that, but ChatGPT seems to be leading, at least for the clients that I work with, in terms of leads.
I wonder if that's just because ChatGPT is more of like a household name compared to Perplexity so far. Do you think?
Yeah, that might be it. That might be it. Just because I feel like Google AI mode and ChatGPT are kind of the two leading ones. Then, Perplexity, Grok, all this kind of Claude, and there's just so many of LLMs right now. But these two, I think, are kind of leading and competing with each other as well.
Yeah. So one of the things that you mentioned on a document that you shared with me last week is like this is a rare moment in SEO, and the earlier you act, the bigger the visibility gap between your competitors will be. Like, what do you I know why you're saying that, but can you explain that in like your own words exactly like why you think that's gonna be the case?
I feel like the earlier you, the brands understand how AI search engines work and implement it, the earlier they will kind of get picked up by AI search engines. And just because LLMs, they tend to, all of them obviously have different ways how they work and retrieve information, but a lot of them kind of grab and retrieve information already from existing database. So the earlier you get into that database and establish yourself there as a, brand of choice, the more chances you have to be kind of, dominating that space. Because at the moment, I know a lot of there is this RAG retrieval augmented the algorithm, how LLMs are retrieving information right now. It's a little bit different how it was before, and I would imagine later on it's going to change, and perhaps they're going to become more reliant on newer information, not just on the information that they have already in databases. So I think having that first mover advantage and introducing your brand to search AI search engines, and also not just introducing, but making sure that they have the correct information about you, about your brand, because lots of times um, the information that you have on your website is not what they will get. Sometimes they will grab an information from some aggregator website or review website, and that information not necessarily is going to be beneficial, or maybe it's going to be negative. So you also have to control what AI search engines tell about you.
That is a fair point, and that's also something that I've noticed in my own deep dive into this. Because I went through and I reworked my entire services page to move from freelance writer to more to content strategy. And so I've been going into like ghost mode on ChatGPT, trying to see if I'm like showing up in the search. And instead of pulling from my own website, it's pulling from other websites where my author bio is like landed on those pages. So
Mhm.
I'm having to go through and like work around that. I will be testing to see if that actually shows up later in the
Yeah.
service when I go through that again. So if a roundup starter let me try that again. If a startup founder came to you and said, "What's one thing I should be doing differently with SEO in 2024 to keep showing up now in 2025?" What would you say to them?
I would say start with a content audit on your website. Just, start with the simplest thing. You don't need to kind of overhaul the whole website or overhaul your whole strategy. The simplest thing to do is just to analyze your whole website from the point of view of how AI search engines will perceive it. Because there's a lot of components to the visibility. And first of all, you need to make sure that you are not blocking the AI search engines, just because that's also a possibility. You need to actually give them access to your website. And I've also seen, like, for example, ChatGPT does not really like the websites that are um, built on they don't render the, I keep forgetting that, either jQuery or one of those that is not static. So your website should be static and not kind of I keep forgetting that name. I'll have to look it up. But basically, you need to make sure that your website is discoverable. And also, the way you structure your content on a website is a little bit different, just because all the AI search engines, they don't fetch your entire pages. They just fetch portions of the content on your website. So kind of looking at AI friendliness of your website is a good way to start.
That's a wrap on this one. If you want the full episode, including the intro, the outro, and what to do about what you just learned, find the full episode wherever you get your podcast. I will link it in the description, most likely to Spotify. If this was useful, I would love it if you would subscribe. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Thursday. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay visible.